You made it about Lil Baby, bro. It's not Lil Baby, baby. What the hell, bro? And nobody was going. What the nigga I was going with?
She missed the flight. I get on the flight at 5 a.m. by myself. Haven't heard from her. Then the next day, she at a Lil Baby restaurant leaving taste test reviews. I'm like, this what you doing? Like,
I said, I want to take accountability for all the girls that was following that because I made everything look cool. That was just me in survival mode. For real, and not like thinking it through or setting back or, you know.
Chrisean Rock just threw out an accusation so wild it makes all her messy back and forth with Blueface look like the warm-up. In the middle of fighting for custody of her baby, crying on live, and clapping back at Blueface, Chrisean suddenly claimed that Lil Baby was trying to pimp her out to his rich sugar daddy for threesomes. Yeah, you heard that right? She said she was supposed to be the product in some shady setup. And here's the thing, this didn't come out of nowhere. For months, Blueface has been obsessed with tying Chrisean's name to Lil Baby. He's accused her of sneaking around with him, dragged him into their arguments, and even dropped his name in songs. So when Chrisean finally snapped and aired out this bombshell, the internet froze. People didn't know what to do with it. Some fans laughed it off, brushing it off as another wild Chrisean rant. But others said it actually explains why Blueface seemed so insecure about Lil Baby from the jump. And honestly, if there's even a grain of truth in her words, it's disturbing. Because what she's describing isn't just drama. It sounds like straight exploitation. And the fact that she chose to blast this out while locked in a custody battle made it land even harder. But let's rewind for a second. Before Chrisean ever put Lil Baby's name in the mix, the drama with Blueface was already spinning out of control. Right after she gave birth, instead of stepping up as a father, Blueface hopped on Twitter with attacks, calling her selfish and even threatening to take custody of their son. He literally tweeted, "If she don't take my son serious and make that her main focus and priority for at least 30 days, I will file for custody. My kid not finna be molested and touched on like everybody in her family, dead homies. I don't play them type of games. That wasn't just a rant."
The Lil Baby though, was Lil Baby trying to fuck?
Blueface wasn't trying to.
I know I wasn't asking about Blueface, I was asking about Lil Baby.
I'm saying like it don't start like that.
Chose to blast this out while locked in a custody battle, made it land even harder. But let's rewind for a second. Before Chrisean ever put Lil Baby's name in the mix, the drama with Blueface was already spinning out of control. Right after she gave birth, instead of stepping up as a father, Blueface hopped on Twitter with attacks, calling her selfish and even threatening to take custody of their son. He literally tweeted, "If she don't take my son serious and make that her main focus and priority for at least 30 days, I will file for custody. My kid not finna be molested and touched on like everybody in her family, dead homies. I don't play them type of games. That wasn't just a rant. That was Blueface, basically telling the entire world he was ready to weaponize the courts against Chrisean while their baby was barely out the hospital. Here's where it all starts to tie together. Blueface just wouldn't let Lil Baby's name go. He kept throwing out accusations that Chrisean was sneaking around, claiming she cared more about industry connections than about their newborn son. One of their biggest blow-ups even happened because Blueface convinced himself she was with Lil Baby right before giving birth. Chrisean later went live, completely breaking down in tears, screaming, "You made it about Lil Baby, bro. This is not Lil Baby's baby." Hearing her say that while sobbing showed just how far Blueface's paranoia had gotten. From the very beginning, this custody war had Lil Baby's name stamped all over it, and that's the messy setup that pushed everything to the next level. While Blueface was busy firing off his tweets, Chrisean decided to take the mic for herself. But instead of her usual fiery clapbacks, she went live looking broken, raw, shaky, and
Nobody taking my kid from me, bro. Nobody taking my baby from me, yo. Nobody taking my baby from me, yo. You know how much I took when I was pregnant with him? Nobody taking my baby, yo.
For entertainment, everyone knows her pregnancy was brutal. The The fights, the chaos, the constant stress, she carried all of that while still bringing her son into the world. So when she's crying about protecting him, it doesn't come off like a stunt. It comes from a very real place of fear and love colliding all at once. Fans packed the comments with mixed emotions after watching Chrisean's live. Some thought it was powerful to see her fighting so hard to protect her baby. One even wrote that they hoped her family would help her get the custody paperwork together because it's clear she finally found the love she's been chasing all along. Others took it as a moment of strength, telling her to keep God first and stand tall like so many women before her who've been through the same struggle.
You're cute on that tone. So then, if me and anybody got beef, why the first thing y'all try to say anything is about my son? My son got nothing to do with this argument. My son or my got nothing to do with our argument. Go toe to toe with me. Stop trying to throw up shit, because I can throw up your kid.
But no matter what side they were on, one thing was obvious. Chrisean was done being quiet while everyone else tried to control her story. And right in the middle of all this chaos, Lil Baby had finally had enough of being dragged into Blueface and Chrisean's war. When he spoke up, you could feel the frustration dripping through the screen. This wasn't him trying to be funny, he was straight up done. He jumped on Twitter and shut it down cold, tweeting, "I ain't with the trolling-ish. I be laughing at certain stuff, but right now, stop playing. I ain't never tried to talk to Chrisean, please stop attaching my name to that." Then he doubled down with another post. "I seen her at a party and told her some real tea. She know I never tried to talk to her. I know I bring attention. But Chrisean, even trolling about a child and stuff is too far. Thanks." The energy in those tweets? Pure frustration. Lil Baby wasn't just denying the rumors, he was basically begging folks to cut it out and stop forcing his name into their circus. And that's saying something, because Lil Baby almost never entertains internet drama. The fact that he had to step in at all showed just how fed up he was with the mess. The second Lil Baby cleared the air, fans went into overdrive. Some said it proved he never had anything to do with Chrisean at all, while others thought the fact that he even had to address it showed just how messy this situation had gotten. Either way, it was crystal clear. Lil Baby wanted no part of that storyline. But Chrisean wasn't about to let the moment pass. Instead of letting his denial end the conversation, she flipped it around and treated it like proof she'd been right all along. She jumped online and wrote, "See? He finally said it. Facts. Told y'all I've been attached to his name because my baby daddy insecure as FSS. Someone tell Blue he can stop trolling me." That was peak Chrisean. Messy, but also a little triumphant. She wasn't just happy Lil Baby shut it down. She was straight up gloating. It was like she was saying, "Look, I wasn't lying." This was Blue, making stuff up in his head. And she didn't stop there. She doubled down with, "I'm done trolling. I just needed Lil Baby to clear the air because my baby daddy gave me hell over a dude and won't believe me about anything." Not gonna lie, it sounded like a sigh of relief mixed with a full-on victory lap. But here's the kicker. Even though Lil Baby denied everything, the way Chrisean spun it kept the drama alive. She wasn't moving on. She was using his words to drag Blueface right back through the mud. And just when it looked like things couldn't get any wilder, Chrisean took it up a notch. She dropped a way more disturbing claim, saying Lil Baby wasn't just randomly tied to her name. According to her, he was actually trying to sell her off to his rich sugar daddy for threesomes. She made it sound like he was lining her up like a business deal, like she was supposed to be the entertainment for some wealthy man's bedroom. And let's be real, this isn't the type of accusation you just pull out of thin air. The way Chrisean said it, emotional, angry, and almost like it had been bottled up for a long time, it felt heavy, like something she'd been carrying and finally let slip. In that moment, she flat out claimed Lil Baby complimented her in a way that didn't feel innocent at all. And honestly, I can see why people started believing her. Look at the timing. Blueface's nonstop obsession with Lil Baby suddenly makes a lot more sense if he knew something shady was happening behind the scenes. And let's not pretend Lil Baby's frustrated tweets helped much. The way he got so defensive didn't exactly kill the suspicion. It almost made folks raise their eyebrows even higher. Because if what Chrisean is saying is even halfway true, then this isn't just messy baby mama drama, it's exploitation. And that's disturbing on a completely different level. The second Chrisean dropped that sugar daddy bombshell, the internet instantly split in two. Some people rolled their eyes, saying she was doing too much and reaching. Others swore she was finally exposing something real that everyone else was too scared to say out loud. But no matter the stance, the comments were loud. One fan chimed in with some advice. You have to get it together. If it's not true, move on and ignore him. But that's been the whole problem since the beginning. Chrisean can't just ignore it. Blueface keeps throwing Lil Baby's name at her like a weapon, and now with accusations, this disturbing moving on isn't as simple as hitting the block button. Another fan dropped some tough love straight into the mix. Stop letting that clown mess with your mental, ma. He's miserable and wants you to be as well. He wants attention and wants to feel like he's important. And that's the tragic part. Chrisean's fighting to protect her baby, but instead of peace, she's stuck in a cycle of chaos, accusations, and men trying to control her narrative. Don't allow it. Every time you let him mess with you, he's controlling you and bringing you down another notch. Stop allowing it, baby. That comment hit hard, and if you read between the lines, it wasn't just about Blueface anymore. Fans are starting to lump Lil Baby into the same conversation, seeing both of them as men trying to control or exploit Chrisean. That's exactly why the sugar daddy allegation didn't just fade into the background. People are looking at the bigger picture and spotting a pattern. They're tired of watching her spiral while men in power play games with her life. Then came the flood of fans practically begging her, just walk away. Leave him alone. Focus on your baby. That sentiment was everywhere, showing how exhausted the audience is with all the chaos. But it also revealed something deeper, the saddest part of all. Because here's the reality. Chrisean can't just walk away if what she's saying about Lil Baby is true. If a superstar rapper really tried to line her up for his rich friend, then this isn't just about saving her own dignity.
If I'm intoxicated and I beat your ass, nobody's gonna say anything about me gaslighting, about me intoxicated, about what you did. They're gonna say, no, Blue couldn't control himself. He got out of his emotions and her up, send him to jail. It's a double standard.
It's not a double standard.
You're an idiot.
If I get mad just like
You're
that.
an idiot.
No, now you're trying to say I do it first.
You do.
All the time.
You do.
It's about protecting her son from growing up in a world where his mother is treated like property. That's why the fan reactions ended up splitting into two loud camps. One side clowning her, telling her to move on. The other side whispering that maybe, just maybe, she's finally telling the truth about how deep this exploitation really goes. And you know why some people didn't laugh it off? Because they've already seen her caught in this same toxic loop with Blueface. Their entire relationship has been a carousel of abuse that everybody recognizes by now. It always plays out the same. First comes the love bombing. After every explosive fight, Blueface suddenly showers her with affection, posts her up online, buys her something flashy, or calls her his queen. And just like that, Chrisean falls right back in, defending him online and insisting nobody understands their bond. That right there is the honeymoon phase, the trap that keeps Chrisean hooked. It's the part where, after all the chaos, she's back standing by Blueface, defending him like nothing ever happened. To outsiders, it looks wild, but to her, it feels like love being proved all over again. Then comes the tension stage, the shady tweets, slick comments in interviews, the little digs during lives. Fans can spot it every time. That passive-aggressive energy starts building, and everyone knows it's only a matter of time before things explode. And sure enough, the blow-up always arrives. Viral fights in the street, screaming matches on Instagram Live, police calls, moments that should never be dismissed as entertainment. Yet their teams spin it as just another episode of drama. This is what it looks like when that tension finally boils over. Caught on camera, raw, messy, and broadcast for the whole world to see. But it doesn't stop there. After the explosion comes the justification and denial. That's Blueface's favorite move. He flips the script, calls Chrisean crazy, and paints her as the real problem. And then you've got Chrisean, broken down, convinced maybe she's the one to blame. She starts saying he's just misunderstood, that nobody really gets their bond. It's textbook gaslighting. They normalize the chaos, wrap it up as passion, and sell it like their version of love. But the truth? It's abuse being played out in public for likes and clicks. And Blueface himself has no shame in it. He's been caught multiple times calling Chrisean crazy, dismissing her feelings, and telling the world she just overreacts. And then comes the repeat, the part where they circle right back to each other for the baby, or out of some twisted sense of loyalty. The cycle resets like clockwork, and fans are stuck watching the same train wreck play out all over again. And here's the wild part. When you put that toxic pattern side by side with what Chrisean is now saying about Lil Baby, it doesn't sound so far-fetched anymore. If she's already been publicly treated like property, tossed around in fights, dragged through headlines, and humiliated on live, why wouldn't she believe another man in the industry might try to use her the same way? That's what makes her sugar daddy claim hit differently. If we've all seen her stuck in this abusive loop with Blueface, it's not hard to imagine her being exploited outside of it too. And y'all, that's exactly why the industry's silence around this whole situation feels so concerning. As shocking as her accusation is, the bigger issue is that people don't know whether to believe her because of her reputation. Let's be real. Chrisean built her name on chaos. The fights, the messy crying lives, the public meltdowns, it's all been out there for the world to see. So when she drops a bomb this serious, there's always that crowd ready to dismiss her saying, she's just being dramatic again. And that's the heartbreaking part. Her track record makes it harder for people to take her seriously, even when what she's saying could be pointing to something way darker than anyone wants to admit. But here's the thing, even in the middle of all her chaos, there are moments where Chrisean looks way too raw, too broken, to just brush off. That live where she was crying about her baby, that wasn't trolling. That was pain, straight up pain on display for the whole world to see. And when she turned around and said, Lil Baby tried to set her up for his sugar daddy, the way she delivered it didn't feel like some clout-chasing stunt. It felt like a desperate attempt to finally be heard. And that's what makes this entire situation so messy. On one side, you've got her wild track record that makes people doubt her every word. But on the other side, you've got receipts showing exactly how she's been treated in her relationship with Blueface. Proof that she's been used, controlled, and humiliated before. So when she now claims another powerful man in the industry tried to exploit her, it's not impossible. In fact, it sounds like the kind of truth no one wants to say out loud. And that's where the real tension is, because if Chrisean is telling the truth, then this isn't just Blueface drama or some baby mama mess for clicks. This is a superstar rapper allegedly trying to pass her off to his wealthy sugar daddy for threesomes. And if that's real, the industry's silence surrounding it speaks louder than any tweet ever could. Because let's be honest, when the cameras are off and the headlines move on, the question still hangs in the air. Is Chrisean crying wolf, or is she finally exposing something way darker? Either way, don't get too comfortable, because the way Chrisean keeps talking, it feels like she's not done yet. And the next thing she exposes, it might just be even worse. So make sure you like, share, comment your thoughts below, and of course subscribe, because this saga is far from over and you won't want to miss what comes next.